Copyright disclaimer. Under Title 17 U.S.C. Section 107, allowance is made for fair use for purposes such as criticism, comment, news reporting, teaching, scholarship, and research. Fair use is permitted by copyright statute that might otherwise be infringing. Nonprofit, educational, or personal use tips the balance in favor of fair use.
All right.
So we have 2 Tina Street stories because we've been doing 2 because there's just been so much going on these days.
Mm-hmm.
That's what I told y'all earlier during the show. You interrupted me. There's so much going on.
We do. We have a lot. We have a lot to touch on.
Yes.
But so we're gonna go into 2 stories. We're not going political or Diddy. We're taking a little break from that. So don't worry.
Don't worry.
Because if we did that, we would talk about the same thing every week.
Yes.
So we got to throw in some other stories.
Mm-hmm.
So this first one is, I think the first. I'll play it and then I'll talk about it. I can't remember which one is first. So.
Go.
Says she had her makeup done at the MAC cosmetic counter in the Willow Grove Mall.
I mean, she did a wonderful job with my makeup. She did a great job.
But several days later,
I woke up in excruciating pain. I couldn't see. I had to be taken to the emergency room.
the diagnosis? Ocular herpes. Like the virus people get on their mouths, Hill had it in her eye.
I literally cried myself to sleep that night because I just was like, this is unbelievable.
She believes she got the virus from the MAC makeup artist, who she says was not using disposable brushes.
And I asked her then, again, aren't you supposed to be using disposable makeup brush? And her exact words were, girl, you know I can't beat no face with no disposable brushes.
Action News repeatedly tried to get comment from Estee Lauder, the parent company of MAC Cosmetics. We never heard back. Hill says her autoimmune condition, lupus, has exacerbated her herpes outbreaks. She says she ended up losing her job.
So at this point, my eyesight was continuously blurry. I'm missing weeks at a time at work.
She says initially she wanted her medical costs covered and an apology. When that didn't happen, she says she decided to sue over the 2019 diagnosis.
I've lost my job. I've lost my income.
So that was about, obviously, we saw a lady, and I think they said Willowbrook Mall, so that must be, here in Houston,
yes,
who had herpes in her eye from makeup brushes, and so, or from contaminated makeup.
Mm-hmm.
So I will say, I used to work for Estee Lauder, the parent company that they were talking about, and I personally didn't do people's makeup, but I know that they don't give a ton of sanitization training. Mm-hmm. Yes, there are disposable. There are ways to do it without disposable makeup, but if you're gonna get your makeup done, I would say find a really good private makeup artist. Mm-hmm. Those counters, they're using testers that everybody has access to. Mm-hmm. Anybody can touch. They are literally taking the testers that you go and swatch. And of course, there are rules you're supposed to follow. Not everyone does that. Right. They give you very little training. Don't sue me. Don't sue me. Allegedly, they give you very little training.
Mm-hmm. Well, consumers don't have training either, and they're open and available for you to walk up and touch. Right?
Exactly.
We don't have training.
Well, I think for me on this one, and why it just kind of rung home to me. You think that you're just going in and you're sampling. We women, we want to look beautiful, and you're just sampling, swatching, trying to, figure out what makeup you want. What looks good on you. But the problem that I have, we have professionals with this story. There was someone that was supposed to be trained and a professional that was
by a big company too,
by a major company. And the young lady is asking, hey, are you going to use, disposable items? She says, oh no, I can't beat your face. That right there would have made me get up out of the chair.
Yeah.
Because that she's just being so irresponsible with my life.
Right.
I really feel for this woman, because that's now something she has to deal with the rest of her life on top of her lupus.
Exactly.
So
or like a cleaning procedure. Because when you get your hair done, your hairdresser has that blue liquid, whatever that is.
Yeah.
Where they put their combs and stuff.
Well, I hope it's not Windex.
No. I don't know what it is, but they all have it.
So there are tons of makeup, food coloring.
No, right? Just water.
Right. There is, like I said, there is a way to properly clean the brushes. The thing is like a true makeup artist who's doing what they're supposed to do. They have several sets of brushes that they will use for each client, and they will wash it every single day, let it dry out, disinfect.
Right.
And but a lot of these times they just use a brush cleaner, and cleaning it isn't disinfecting it.
Right.
Those are two different things.
Right.
And even if you use the disposables, if you're using the testers that everyone has access to, that's why when I go to the makeup store, I'm only swatching it on my hand. I don't put it on my face in any way, shape, or form.
Yeah.
Because they all have a return policy.
Yes.
So that was nasty to see.
Well,
So
Very
what's the
nasty.
moral to the story?
make sure that you are advocating, you're taking care of yourself. So don't trust, like she said, put it on your, go ahead and put it here. Don't put it on your face. I mean,
Yeah.
that's a place that can really,
And
yeah.
my word of the day for the past weeks has been discernment. Practice some discernment. If you walk into a store and it looks a little dirty, and don't let them perform services on your body.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
Because those people, to work for those makeup brands, you do not have to be licensed.
Mhm.
You do not have to be licensed. Find yourself a licensed makeup artist. Christina Price is one of
Christina
them.
Price, she
Yeah.
was supposed to be here this morning, and that's why I was excited about this here, because
Yeah, what happened to? Oh, wait.
we're
I'm right here.
she would have
Do
been
you like my
able
makeup?
to really give you guys some pointers on
Yeah.
the proper techniques when you're getting
Right.
this done. But again, Christina, put it in the comments.
But
if you
their
like.
job, that girl's job is to sell the makeup.
Yes.
Not yes,
to apply it
exactly.
necessarily.
So
She's not a makeup artist, likely.
Mhm. Yeah,
Right.
exactly.
Well, however, think about it though. Sometimes you have to pay for those facials.
Yeah.
Makeovers.
I mean, Mac
So
is
if
not
I'm
cheap.
paying-
No.
If
Mhm.
I'm
Yeah.
paying for a makeover, then guess what? You should be a professional, because now I done gave you money to beat
Right.
my face.
Right.
Yeah.
Mhm.
I'm
yeah.
coming for you.
Go to
Right.
people that are licensed. And
Yes.
like I said, those makeup counters, they are not licensed. They are retail associates is what they are. So go on TikTok. You can look up makeup artists in Houston. There are tons of them. There are tons of people. Make sure that you see their process and do your research. And I say that for everything, right? I used to be really into piercings.
Yeah.
And so I used to have a lot of piercings, and I've gotten some shady ones and I've gotten some good ones.
Yeah.
And I've gone to some
Some
shady
shady.
places. But at a certain point, when I started getting more, and I don't have as many as I used to, but when I started getting more, I had to really do my research. What's their process? And I figured out what works best for me, but also what, again, there's licensing and there's processes that have to be in order that not everyone, you think a big
No,
company is going
right.
You have to know
Yeah.
the
We don't
anatomy.
want to lose the men, because they're
Yeah.
over the
And
makeup.
Another news.
Move to the next one.
Okay, we'll move to
All
the
right, we
next
got a
one.
little something else.
Yes.
Okay.
Is sharing their story after a stranger hacked into their Ring camera and gave a man a clear view of a 5-year-old boy's bedroom. And even worse, the stranger was able to talk to the boy. Sydney Deshawn has the story.
He stood back from the bed. He was scared. You could see the fear in his eyes.
In the middle of the night, a random voice whispered through a Ring camera that sits in this 5-year-old boy's room.
He started screaming, "Daddy, Daddy." And I rolled over. I looked at my husband and I asked him, "Hey, are you on the camera?" Talking to him. And he was like, "No, I was asleep. Why?"
Audrey McLeod was thankfully awake, but she only knew something was going on because the system notified her there was motion.
When I logged in, he was sitting facing the camera as if he was communicating back with the camera. We don't know if this person has patched in before.
Her son ran away terrified of what woke him up.
He knew something wasn't right.
The McLeod family searched the house in panic after because they thought someone was inside.
My son, this is his safe haven. Mommy and Daddy's supposed to protect him.
Then just 15 minutes after it all happened, the Ring video was gone.
It was like it never even happened. Thank God I saved the video.
McLeod says she filed a report with the police department.
They did state that sometimes people that hack into your Wi-Fi are near you. So that's the scary part as well, is knowing that this person is likely close to us.
So as we saw, and that happened in Houston as well.
Yes.
A family's Ring camera got hacked, and I don't know.
It's actually been something that's been going on for a while. Over the last year or so, they've been talking about the Ring camera kind of getting hacked. People's
Yeah.
Ring cameras getting hacked.
I have some insight to this.
Okay, go ahead.
This
Jen.
actually happened to Abigail and I.
Oh wow.
Oh yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
So just I won't get into huge details. However, I had purchased a Fire Stick from Amazon,
Yes.
for a friend, but then it became registered to me, right? So that friend then had the Fire Stick. Then when I linked my Ring cameras to my Amazon account, that person with their Fire Stick could watch all my Ring cameras.
Oh,
my
my
gosh.
gosh.
And also the little
and talk through them and whatnot.
Alexa, I forgot this is because I don't use an Alexa anymore. I don't use any of that in my room anymore. But I had a friend, and he was this was back when I was in college. He was good at like hacking and stuff like that, and he would show me like what he would do and stuff like that. And he didn't do anything harmful. It was literally just to be nosy. Like he wasn't like stealing people's money. It was still wrong, but you know what I'm saying. Nothing crazy. But he told me that he had access to drop in to my Alexa. So if I was having a conversation, he could drop in at any point and hear what I was saying. So I quickly unplugged it and never used it again.
Wow.
And so
there's a setting where you can cut it off where people can't do that.
Yeah,
but that's not the default when you get it.
Right.
The default is to let people drop in.
Right.
And if you're looking at it, it turns a certain color when that happens.
When that happens.
I mean,
if you're not looking at
If you're
it,
not paying attention.
well, and then everything's cloud-based. And like for me, I'm an Apple girly, so all my stuff is like all synced up and stuff like that. But like, you just have to be really careful. And like, there's a way for you to check who has access to what. Even on your Facebook account, you can see who's logged in, when, how many devices. So just
one of the
check
things that I use because is that for that very same reason is that I get a notification if you log into any of my stuff. Oh, a new person has logged in, and you can't get all the way through because I have the second authenticator. I have to let you in.
Yeah.
So even if they're trying to get in, you can't get in because I have to let you in. So, hey guys, we put this out there again for you. Just be aware and take your security more serious.
I have all that stuff too. And if you do have Alexa devices and you hook it up to your Ring, when I went onto the Alexa app and looked, it'll tell you all the devices you have. But just so you know, if you buy it from Amazon and you have it sent to yourself, it will be linked to your Amazon account and your Alexa account. And then if you give it to somebody, you have to make sure you go in and
turn
all you have to do is say, I no longer own this device. And then that person can then register it or whatever.
Under them.
Which I actually don't think they can until you do that.
I think that's real good. I think this was a good segue.
But no one thinks to log their Fire Stick. You log your other stuff, but not necessarily your Fire Stick or your Fire TV.
When it comes to like security cameras and stuff like that, I mean, everybody do what's best for them, right? In terms of what brand you use and if you put them inside or outside. I don't know. Sometimes I see the value in having inside cameras because things, you know, there's so many things that have been caught on camera. Like I saw recently there was a soccer player who was abusing his girlfriend and she was able to press charges because she had Ring camera footage. But I don't know. I would feel so like weird. Even if I'm the only person who has access to my cameras, I would feel so weird about having them inside my home.
Well, I think it's good depending on where you have it located at.
Right. Not in your bedroom or bathroom.
Exactly. Not in those private areas. But I do think that it's a good safety thing for when it's coming. Because you walk into my either door, we got you. As my kids call our home. Fort Knox. We got you. We got you. You come in.
I had one in the living room for when I was by myself. And then when Abby moved in with me, I realized, not that I watched it, but I realized that there was private conversations
that you did not.
That I So I took it. That's not there anymore.
Yeah.
But I did have it for a while, and then I was like, oh.
I think if you live by yourself or whatever, it's like just a couple or something like that's a little bit different. But yeah, it is.
Well, I had other people, it's the
townhouse.
privacy.
I had a townhouse, and my bedroom was upstairs, so I wanted one downstairs. Just to kind of.
Well, you know,
make
by yourself at that time,
right? And then when I was like, "Oh, this seems like I'm invading her space."
Yeah,
so, you know, like
just another thing. Have some discernment, like make sure you're checking. I know some people aren't super technologically advanced, but ask somebody you know who is to double check and make sure that like only certain people are logged in because you can see on almost any social media anything you can see who's logged in and on what device
at any time.
Just check that
stuff.
Well,
she moved in with 2 little alert systems.
I have dogs.
They so I didn't really need them anymore.
Keep going. Let's keep going.
Yes, we're gonna move on.